Go, go, Power Rangers! Da na na na! Go, go, Power... What? I'm recording? Oh, hey guys, here to do my review of Power Rangers. To get started, obviously you can tell by that song, I was a fan of Power Rangers growing up. I watched all the way from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers till Dino Thunder, which you probably don't know what that means, but that's basically like 6 or 7 seasons. It was the last one that had Jason David Frank as the main character, who was the original Green Ranger and then became the White Ranger, then the Red Ranger, and then I believe it was a Blue Ranger at one point, and then it came back to the Black Ranger. So it's a whole thing, but I was a fan of it, and going into this movie I was not expecting much. I thought they were either going to take it too seriously, or I thought that they were going to make it too campy, which, as we saw from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie that came out back in the 90s, doesn't really work. Though I still like that movie for dumb, guilty pleasure type fun. But surprisingly, when I went into this movie, it was a weird mix of tone between a superhero movie, kind of in between a Marvel and a DC and tone seriousness, and like a campy action movie, Pacific Rim type movie. And it surprisingly melded well. It was an okay superhero movie mixed with an okay dumb action movie, and when it blended, it was pretty good. There were some seams that showed with this blending. Mostly, some of the action just could have been done better. There was a scene in particular where I was like, I can kind of tell I'm watching a cartoon here because it was one CGI thing fighting another CGI things, and the Zord acting needs some work, which is a weird thing to say and wouldn't make sense in any other review. But when you see it, you'll get what I mean. The Zord acting needed some work, but overall, I think this movie actually worked quite well. The superhero part, which is like an superhero origin story, which I think is the majority of the movie, worked really surprisingly well because they didn't take it as seriously as I thought they would. It was, like I said, kind of almost in the tone of like a lighter DC movie, maybe more light than that. But they also had like a couple quips like Marvel One, but not so much where you'd call this a comedy. And the chemistry between the 5 main characters, the Rangers, all worked really well. I do think it was quite weird in the beginning. Like the first 15 minutes, you follow 3 of the characters, and then the last 2 Rangers kind of show up when they become Power Rangers. But they get backstory and stuff throughout the rest of the movie, so it kind of works. Like at first, just like, oh, I guess these guys just showed up now, but they all built strong characters, and their chemistry worked amazingly well, which is really what you want from this team of Power Rangers. And it's like, all right, I'm behind you guys. It's got this cool drama. And then when it gets to the action, it becomes dumb action, but that drama they built up before kind of makes it work. Now, those 2 elements are good in the movie, but there's a third element in the movie which kind of brings it down a lot, and that is whatever movie Elizabeth Banks was acting in, because it did not fit with the tone, this unique tone they were going of blending the 2 kind of movies together. Elizabeth Banks was not going for that. She was a mix between dumb action and superhero movies, but the problem is it was basically the Rita Repulsa of the Power Rangers, which was never really that good, and the Enchantress from Suicide Squad, and mixed together with the worst of those parts is kind of what we got. She just didn't work, and every minute she was on screen didn't work. It was like she was acting in a completely different movie, and when she's the main villain, that definitely brings it down a lot. She had no character motivation, which is another problem with this movie, is that they kind of talk a lot about this backstory, like, of these past Rangers and all this stuff from before, and it's like, you didn't really give us any of that. You made Zordon not a great character because, you know, there's a reason why he's the way he is, supposedly, but they never explain that to us, so what we get is just basically Bryan Cranston being Walter White again if Walter White inserted himself into the Matrix and had a machine head, is basically what we got from Zordon, which towards the end, they kind of make him the Zordon that we know, so I guess it's an origin for Zordon too, but it kind of took me out of the movie a little bit, because that's not the character he should be, and you don't give me the reason why he's that way. Or you use that reason to justify why he becomes the Zordon we know. It's all a little bit confusing. Another character that kind of took me out a little bit was Alpha 5. It was basically just Bill Hader being Bill Hader. I would have preferred for the android to have kind of the android-y voice of some sort. Eventually you get used to it, but it just took me back a little bit. But the main characters of the Rangers, which is what this movie's for, works really surprisingly well. And action, like I said, there's one scene that's very reminiscent of Pacific Rim, and I think that scene is really well done. Some of the kung fu they do is also really well done, and more before they get like the power suits, just their their action, their running, their leaping. I think that's all done really well. The story for this movie is, like I said, basically just an origin story. It works fine until they start to introduce Rita more and more, which just kind of doesn't work. And Krispy Kreme's a big element of the movie. I'm not going to spoil how. It's just, yeah, you paid some good money for that Krispy Kreme, and that kind of made me audible laugh at one point when they were like, "We need to get to the Krispy Kreme," and it was just all seriousness. It just didn't work. But I really enjoyed this movie. Besides all the scenes with Rita. And the biggest surprise for this is going in this, like, right before I saw the movie, I'd read a story where they're like, we have 6 movies planned, and I was like, oh man, that's not gonna work. I thought if they would have tried to do dumb serious action, or just dumb action, it wouldn't work for this movie. If they tried to do super serious superhero movie, it wouldn't work to do a 6-movie series. But this weird tone, this weird blend of classic Power Rangers and this modernization of it works so well that I could see them doing 5, 6 movies and wanting to see them all, because at the end of the day, I enjoyed this movie and I like the characters of the Power Rangers the most, so if the characters are moving forward, then that would be a good movie. If you just find a villain that fits the tone you're going for, I'm definitely excited for it. But the problem with this movie is that the villain didn't work. So unfortunately, because the villain just didn't work, and because it didn't give us some of the backstory we needed, if this was just a movie about, if I was rating this just on the Rangers, it'd be 10 out of 10. But the whole movie overall, 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed this. That's probably some of the nostalgia talking. That's kind of why I haven't done my Beauty and the Beast review yet, because I know the nostalgia's putting it way up high. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, see if it brings it down low, or if it's still up that high in a week or so, and I'll get that review to you soon. Also showing off this cool ticket Regal gave. Look, Power Rangers. Ooh. There's also some cool callbacks to the movies, like when they use the Mighty Morphin theme. That was cool. Let me know what you think down below. What's your favorite season of Power Rangers? Mine would be Season 2, the introduction of the Green Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I like Power Rangers. What can I say? I was a 90s kid. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.